Hi Taurus, and welcome to your reading for January 2019. Happy New Year. Hope you've had a really good break in Christmas, if you did have a break and if you did celebrate Christmas. Otherwise, I hope you are well and good. My name is Melanie, and this is a general reading for the star sign or moon sign or rising sign of Taurus. So I use two different decks for this reading. The first is the Tattoo Tarot deck of the cards which you see out there now. And the second deck I use is called the Dreamtime Reading Cards, and I'll be pulling a card from that deck, sort of like an oracle card, towards the end of the reading to gauge the overall theme, and then I just read from the lovely little book here about what that card means. The Dreamtime is the Aboriginal Australian sort of spiritual belief system, and these cards are about connecting with the ancient spirit and nature of Australia. So I'm just going to dive right in. So there's 5 cards for you guys. The 5 cards that came out, the first one was the Sun, and that's representing the past energy. The second card being about the present issue, the present current situation. The 3 of Coins came out, or 3 of Pentacles came out for you guys. The third card there representing possible obstacles this month, the 7 of Cups. The fourth card being possible helpful tools this month for Taurus, and that is the 10 of Swords. Interesting card. And the outcome card for this month, you guys got the 9 of Swords. So immediately I could see from these, and you could probably see too, that you've got 2 Swords cards there, and both of those Swords cards are a little tricky, to say the least. So that's very much about one's mental state, and also having a sense of feeling attacked or a bit under attacked by others or by your own thought processes going on this month. It sort of suggests the need to examine your state of mind, the way you're thinking. The 7 of Cups in there as well, even though that's in the position of helpful tools. It can be a card about delusions, kind of getting swept up in things that aren't quite real, and wishful thinking. So there's sort of a theme there already of some challenges going on, of sort of feeling under stress, under attack, under a lot of sort of mental anguish, and a lot of stuff kind of going on in your head. So anyway, we'll go through the cards one by one and then pull an overall theme card for you guys, and hopefully it'll be useful in some way. Okay, so past energy, you guys have the Sun card. I mean, this is the most positive card in the deck. It's an absolutely beautiful card. It's about good luck, new life, new directions, daylight, joy, happiness, co-creation, fertilization, life-giving. It's about innocence, fun, vitality, the universe coming together and aiding you on your path, being the sun and sunlight and daylight. It's about things being seen and revealed, lightness after dark times, illumination, liberation. It can be a sign with a good omen around finances and work, about good luck. Clarity, so it's a really, it's quite a positive, it's a very positive card. Can be about the freedom to choose new things in a relationship or in a job. Maybe there has been some choices that you've made in the past that once things have been a bit clearer, you've made some different kind of choices. So it can also be about seeing what's holding you back in life, what's been standing in your way or causing you difficulties, and sort of realizing with the clarity of the sun and the sunlight that there is hope, there is something different, there is a way out of that. So there's a few different meanings of that card. I guess take what resonates for you. So moving on to the second card there, representing the current situation for the month of January for Taurus. For some Taurus, this won't resonate with everyone, but it may well do for some. So the 3 of Coins, or the 3 of Pentacles, is a card about teamwork. It's about collaboration. It's about the creation of solid foundation, and like it's being in the planning stage of something, having the blueprints about something. It's like learning heading in the right direction, mastery, skill, craftsmanship, expertise, accomplishment. It's about sort of essentially about coming together, or a union that's helpful, that's necessary, that's beneficial, and that there is this sort of inevitable connection to others at this time to work together, and combining resources, combining thoughts to get a sort of a job done. Now, whether that's a physical actual job or some other sort of project going on, or something to do in relationships and kind of unions of sort, or having to work with people around us on something, whether we kind of want to or not, or whether we get along with them or not. This is a card about compromise and kind of needing a plan, and sort of just through cooperating and getting along with others and working together with other people, a positive outcome can be achieved, a lot of satisfaction. So yeah, it's sort of a foundation card that progress has been made. There's something in the works that is going well, that there's been some hard work put into something. There's no kind of outcome or reward just yet, but it's positive and firm nevertheless. Okay, so moving on to, I'm just going to have a sip of coffee. Moving on to the third card, and this represents possible obstacles that may come up for Taurus in the month of January. You guys have the Seven of Cups, and as I mentioned earlier, this card can be about wishful thinking, about being a bit of a dreamer, illusion, fantasy, pipe dreams, where nothing is really what it seems. There's sort of daydreams. And the need to make a choice. This card can be about a few different choices offered to you, and you needing to make a decision. This is a Cups card, so it is about matters of the heart, emotions, feelings, relationships, connections with people. It does suggest the need, though, to look beyond emotions and use some of your rational mind, you know, because right now this might be, you might be getting swept up in fantasy and illusion and daydreams and wishful thinking, and you may sort of solely be wanting to use your heart to make a decision, but this is just saying to perhaps get your head out of the clouds a little bit and use some of your wise mind or your intuition as well. This is being a card about choices. It can suggest that a choice may come up unexpectedly when you're not really prepared for it. It may seem like the choices offered to you are all a little bit crap, and you have to pick the least worst one. So it's a little bit of a tricky card, and this is in a position of obstacles. I suppose too, by not making a choice, you make a choice. Either way, I guess it's always better though to make the decision rather than have a decision made for you. So even though there might be a few different doorways and options opening up, it suggests not to make a decision on a poor foundation, which is interesting given that the Three of Coins is a card about firm foundations. So there is a firmness and a depth in you, in somewhere in your life, that has been built and created, and now some sort of unexpected choice or choices are coming up or being presented to you, and you're in a state, a little bit of sort of fluffy thinking or not really clear thinking, and unsure which way to go. You might be getting really swept up in the moment there, with all these lovely shiny trinkets which seem to be dangling in front of you, but you're like, I'm not sure which one to choose. They all look shiny and gorgeous, but actually when I really look at them and think about it calmly and wisely, none of them actually seem that great, but I have to choose one. I guess what I would suggest around that is to be reflective, take some time and space for yourself in making this choice, so that it's not made too irrationally in the mind or too much in the heart. maybe meditate for a bit, seek some guidance in that way. Yeah, a bit of a tricky card at times. So moving on to the fourth card, possible helpful tools this month, and you have the Ten of Swords, which, look, is a bit of a shit card, I'll be honest. Interesting that it's in the position of helpful tools. So the Ten of Swords typically is about feeling betrayed, about being stabbed in the back. It's about defeat, endings, loss, crisis, being very hurt and disillusioned, about grief, pain, sadness, you know. The thing with this card though is the 10, so it's the end of a cycle, and when you're down, the only way to go is up. So this can be about, again, about choices, but about the way you choose to interpret things and the reaction or the response ideally you have towards something. The Ten of Swords can be about a metaphorical death in an aspect of your life. It can be about your thoughts killing an aspect off in you as well. It's about being released from something. It is sort of the end of a cycle, the end of a negative karmic cycle, and you've had to survive something or survive a sense of desolation in a way. It typically can be a really challenging card. So what does it mean if it's in the position of helpful tools? In the traditional image of this card, and on the sort of the I can't remember the name of the deck. Well, it's so terrible. Anyway, the image is of a man or a person. I think it's a man lying on the ground with 10 swords in his back. But in the distance is, and he looks dead. The man looks dead. In the distance, though, is the sunrise. So there is a new dawn. There is something new coming after this metaphorical death of something and this kind of crisis and defeat that you feel right now. This card too can be about absolute overkill. We don't need 10 swords to kill someone or kill ourselves. You just need one. So this can be the end of the death of this kind of real frantic overthinking that you perhaps have done to yourself and sort of over-analysing, and so that is good. It can mean the end of over-dramatising things. So look, hopefully, I'm hoping in this month for you guys, there's the Seven of Cups there with that kind of wishful thinking, a little bit illusional, delusional, and then this card right next to it, maybe something is going to shift a lot in your mind about the way you think about things, and you're becoming a little bit more rational about something that's going on in your life or about yourself. This card too is, like I said, it's the end of a cycle, so that is a positive thing. So again, I think it's about what would be most of use for you at this time is the way you're seeing things and the way you're interpreting things, the way you're looking at choices in your life. If you enter into a more reflective state, a calmer state, which I know can be extremely hard if things are very difficult and very painful in your life. At times it can be very hard to get into that state, but it's entirely possible. It's about looking after yourself. It's about making choices about how you're going to get to that place of understanding or decision making. This card is about rebuilding and starting again, and there's always so much opportunity in that, even though something may have changed around us that we didn't want to change, that happened unexpectedly perhaps. Something new is coming, and this reminds me of a saying, something like painful endings, new beginnings are often disguised as painful endings. So I'm wondering if something like that is going on. And look, the last card you have, Taurus, for the month of January is the Nine of Swords. This is the outcome card. Nine of Swords too, I won't lie, is a little tricky as well. This is a card of overthinking, of a really busy, overactive mind, of anxiety, of nightmares, sleeplessness, restlessness, waking up in the middle of the night. It can be a card about fears, suspicions, worries, shame, a lot going on in your head, a lot hanging over your head. So this is a lot of stuff in your head. There's a lot of power in our minds, and there's some crazy stuff kind of going on, possibly. This card may be about regrets in the past, it could be about fears in the future. Can also be a card of self-awareness, in that it's like waking up to a part of yourself that you're like, holy shit, you know, and this sudden realization is confronting. It's shocking, but it's always I think that's always a good thing, a realization. Again, it's what do you do with that now? We don't get anywhere in life unless we wake up to certain things and have a level of awareness about ourselves. But of course that does not mean necessarily that will change. We can have all the insight in the world. You've actually got to do something about that. You've got to work through things. So this card can be about you needing to analyze something quite carefully, something that is throwing you off balance, off kilter. Again, it can be about the ending of something, and you needing to stay focused on you, I think, at the end of the day, on what is best and right for you. It's a card about resilience through grief, you know, through some sort of deep shock that may have happened to you. It's suggesting definitely a need for reflection, I think, and finding a safe, warm place to go to seek counsel if needed, to find support around you should you need it, to get you out of your head. Like I said at the beginning, there's a big theme here of being a little bit, not a little bit, but quite a lot too much in your head. I'm not sure what's happened. You know, you've come from a really good, positive, sunny place, and there was a good foundation there. There may still well be a good foundation, but then something has shifted and you've gone right up into your head. Maybe you've been pulled all over the place by your heart with the Seven of Cups, and there's these options and choices being presented to you sort of out of the woodwork, and it's kind of doing your head in, like literally doing your head in. So hey, be really careful around that, I would say, and do whatever you need to get out of your head, to get back in tune with yourself and reconnect to the universe and places that you find nourishing and healing and supportive. So now I'm going to just shuffle the Dreamtime Reading Cards deck, and we're going to pull a card which represents the overall theme for the month of January for Taurus, January 2019. Thank you so much, universe, for providing us with one more card. I'm going to go with this card because it kind of jumped out. Look at that. Bat Island, intuition. This is kind of what I was just talking about. You guys seriously got to get out of your head. You got to watch your heart. I think you've got to tune into your intuition, and this is tuning into the universe as well. I think there's perhaps a real disconnection that's happened somewhere along the line for you guys. So I'm just going to find the page now, and I'm going to read about Bat Island and intuition. Bat Island, as it is known by the Belgian locals, is actually a large colony of flying foxes which inhabits a small island on the north side of the Belgian River. The flying fox is a very large bat with a fox-like face. It spends its days hanging upside down, resting in trees, and then at dusk its colonies come alive with loud calls and cries as the flying foxes take flight through the darkening sky on their search for food. The flying fox does not have the normal sonar of most bats, but uses its eyes to search for food. It is most active in the night time, when it uses all its senses. It takes flight and travels vast distances in its quest for ripe fruit to feast on. Bat Island teaches you to trust your own feelings at this time, even if your rational mind is telling you something different. If you are receiving very clear messages, Bat Island is here to offer support with your newfound gifts of insight and knowing. The Flying Fox's message is to use your senses, trust your instincts, and listen to the whispers of spirit. Bat Island and the Flying Fox may also symbolize an understanding of your own psychic abilities. You may find that you have the ability to hear, feel, or see what others don't. Bat Island reminds you are not alone with these abilities, even though they may feel strange and unnatural. You are gifted, and there are others who also carry these gifts. Use your intuition at this time and trust that all is unfolding as it should be. So, intuition and I think faith very hard, I know, to have faith when the chips are down, when you're being really challenged, when there is a degree of perhaps betrayal or heartbreak or something that has really upset the apple cart in your life. This card, though, is a reminder to get back to yourself, get back to whatever you use to connect to a higher source, a higher power, and to trust that, and to try and have faith that all things are happening for a reason, which sounds terribly shit when you're not feeling that at all. It's very hard to make sense of things. Hey, take care of yourself this month, okay, Taurus? I hope this has been of some help and some guidance for you. I wish you all the best. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and hopefully I'll see you all in February.